Hi everyone and welcome to our lesson on data collection. So this lesson fits into our topic of Introduction to Psychology and we'll be looking at the data that you can collect in an investigation. So there are three different types of data that we will be looking at today. So if we are looking at the scientific method of research, we will be at step number 4, collecting the data. So there are three different types of data that you can look at within an investigation. That is objective quantitative data, subjective quantitative data, and qualitative data. So before you decide on what type of data to collect, you need to ask yourself two questions. You ask yourself, which type of data will I collect? And the second one, will the type of data that I collect answer my research question? So for us to have a better understanding on how to answer those questions, I'll be expanding your knowledge on these three types of data. Okay, so the first type of data that we'll be looking at is objective quantitative data. So remember that quantitative means numerical data, so we're looking at numbers. So objective quantitative data looks at objects or things that can be measured directly by the investigator themselves. So if we're the investigator, we're looking for quantitative data that we can measure. So this could be psychophysiological recordings such as an EEG, an MRI, or a heart rate recording. It can be behaviour counts, so we can look at someone's reaction time or the number of errors made. Or we can look at scores on an intelligence test. Okay, the second type of data is subjective quantitative data. So again, we are looking at numerical data, but this one looks at the feelings or thoughts measured as numbers by the investigator, but the information is given by the subject. So subjective means the subject is providing the information rather than the researcher doing the measurement. So we are the researcher and we are looking for this numerical data being given by the subject. So the way that we can gain this data is through questionnaires, rating scales, checklists, or scores on a personality test. So remember, this is subjective data, so feelings or thoughts measured as numbers given by the subject. Okay, the last one is qualitative data. So this data is always subjective and it is given in the form of words. So we are not looking at numbers anymore, we are looking at words. So this can be content analysis, so finding a common theme in what people say. It can be given in a focus group setting, and it can be given in a Delphi technique setting. So we have discussed focus group and Delphi techniques in another video that I have made on investigation designs. So if you need further information on those two, have a look at that video because I delve deeper into focus groups and Delphi techniques. So this was qualitative data, looking at subjective information in the form of words. Okay, so that was a brief overview of the three types of data that you can collect within an investigation. So the three were objective, quantitative, subjective, quantitative, and qualitative. So I have an example here, and I'd like you to think about what type of data that you would collect, but also the investigation design that you would use. So students deprived of specific numbers of hours of sleep before assessing the number of errors on a problem-solving task. So I'd like you again to think about the type of data collection that you would use, and also the investigation design that we would use. Now I hope that has helped you a little bit on data collection, and we'll look at it further in class. Thank you.